Welcome to another TechHelp Quick Queries video. This is number 48, brought to you by AccessLearningZone.com. I'm your instructor, Richard Rost. Quick queries are quick answers to queries about Microsoft Access, which may or may not include queries. But they're all queries. It might not be about queries, so I don't know. I'm confused too. All right, anyways, let's hit the mailbag. One of my students, Sarah, just emailed me and said, I wonder why you don't post updates when Microsoft releases new features for Access or when there are bug reports and fixes. I've seen other tech channels and blogs cover that kind of stuff, and I was curious why you don't include it in your videos on your website. Love the Tech Help videos, by the way. They've saved me more than once. Well, Sarah, you basically answered your own question. I don't cover that stuff because there are some other great channels that do cover that stuff. For example, there's two that I highly recommend. accessforever.org. In fact, you can see right down here, they've got an article for June 2025 changes. And also Mike Wolf. He's got some great content on his website, nolongerset.com. He does a weekend review, which I republish on my website, and he also covers anything that's important. They're excellent resources. I highly recommend checking them out and subscribing to their mailing lists. I do. That's where I get my news from. Now, if there's a major bug out there that could like crash your whole database or cause real problems, then I'll definitely let you know about it or when they post a fix for it. And if there's a new feature that's actually useful or game-changing, I'll definitely cover that too. Most of the time, though, I get my information from the same place as you can, so there's really no need for me to reinvent the wheel. And also keep in mind that sometimes new releases, especially if you're in the beta channel or grabbing the latest builds, they can be a little buggy. And that's why I like to wait until stuff is, fully baked and stable before I use it myself or recommend it. I stay in the stable channel. I don't want to risk issues with either my teaching databases or my production systems. And yes, I've got a video coming out soon to explain what all the different channels are. There's the beta channel and there's some other ones. If you want the super stable release, that's what I do. That way you don't get all the new, the new updates aren't immediately pushed out to you. So yeah, I'm not ignoring these updates. I'm just filtering out the noise and focusing on what really matters to me and to my viewers. And I'm all about teaching you how to do stuff, not necessarily reporting bug fixes and stuff like that. So, and when a new feature does come out that is stable, I will definitely make lessons about it. So right. All right, let's head over to the YouTubes. First off, thanks guys for all the congratulations. I just like an hour ago posted the video that we reached 1,000 Tech Help videos and 400 extended cuts. And I got my 5th MVP. And I've already got dozens of congratulations. So you guys are awesome. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And looking forward to the next 1,000. Next up, first question. Musa asks, can you make a project management template with a Gantt chart as yours? This is the most important thing. Yeah, I've kind of done this already. I built it's a basic project management template in Access and let you do things like set up, you can click on the different, let's call them cells here, right? You can set up different categories, pick your date range, that kind of stuff. So it's available. Here's the link. I'll put a link down below. All right, for this one, I had to pull out Google Translate. Can you work with Microsoft Access remotely from other parts of the world? How about SQL? Well, I get asked this all the time. In fact, I got a whole page put together about this. Here's the page. There's the link. I'll put a link down below. But in a nutshell, don't use file sharing services like Google Drive, OneDrive, or Dropbox that will corrupt your database. You can put your tables online either using SharePoint or what I recommend is SQL Server, which is relatively inexpensive to set up. You just put your tables up there, you link them to your Access database, and then anyone with your Access database can connect to the tables. And I got a whole seminar that covers how to do that. You can use remote desktop. So for example, I use this when I'm on vacation because I leave my Access database running all the time in my office here. I just fire up my laptop. I can remote directly into my Access database and it's like I'm sitting at my desk. And if you don't want to leave a computer running in your home or office, there's always services like Access Database Cloud, where they basically have the PC in the cloud running your Access database. And you can set it up for multi-users too. So lots of options. Check it out. Next up, Edison says, can you upload one about generating a block insert record from SQL? I don't have any idea what you mean by block insert record. If you're talking about inserting a bunch of records, then you could import them by whatever means you want to import them. And then you can use an append query or something like that to pull them into your table. But I'm not sure I don't get the question. So if you could give me some more details, that'd be great. And always post it as a new question, because I don't usually look for replies to older questions. So just post it and give me some details, and maybe I can help you figure it out. Next up, I want to keep a sequential number for each customer. Upon selection of a customer, it will generate a sequential number like customer name dash sequence to 2025. Yeah, you can do this based on whatever criteria you want. Here's another video that I did that I teach you how to do sequential annual numbers. So for example, it's 2025, so the first record would be 2025-001, then 002, and so on. Instead of using the year, you could very easily use the customer ID or the first 4 letters of the customer's name or whatever you want to do. Watch this video. That should show you enough to do what you want to do. If not, come back and let me know. Maybe I'll make another video about it. Okay, next up, T. Coving sent me a link to another YouTube video, and this is in reference to my fitness database series. In part 3, I mentioned that I'm on the quest for the perfect protein bar, and so he sent me a link to another video. Now, this video is pretty good. I actually like Dr. Mike, but it's extremely long-winded. It's 31 minutes worth of a lot of him just being entertaining, which is fine. That's great, but I just want the gist, and this happens a lot when I watch videos. I don't know, as a video creator, I have a hard time watching other people's videos on educational things. Like if I'm trying to, if someone sends me a link to an Access video, I just want them to get to the point. So I get where some of you are coming from when you tell me, hey, Rick, just get to the point already. So I'm going to show you my trick for quickly summarizing a YouTube video. So what I do is I come down here in the description. And by the way, you are not allowed to do this with my videos. All right, you come down here and you find transcript, show transcript. All right, here's the transcript text. Now, they don't make it easy for you to copy all this. You can't click here or whatever. What you can do is come all the way down to the bottom of the transcript, click here, hold your mouse button down, drag it all the way up. It'll come up to the top because you can't hit Control-A or it'll get all the text on the page. Go to there, copy this all to the clipboard, Control-C. Okay? Now, where are we going? You guessed it, ChatGPT, right? I type in summarize briefly, please give me the results, and then I paste in all that transcript. All right, come all the way down to the bottom, and here's your results. And now you can read this, and there's a very short, brief transcript of 30 minutes of video. And again, don't do this to my videos, or at least let it play in the background. But thanks for the video. Yeah, I started watching it, and I like Dr. Mike. I've watched some of his videos before, and I'm in the middle of recording myself, so I got to get to the point here, right? And personally, I haven't tried any of these bars, but one thing that I've learned is that the people's tastes online, it's the same with movie reviews and stuff. Everyone's taste is unique. What Dr. Mike likes, I might not like, and vice versa. And movies, I usually disagree with movie critics. Some movies that I think are great, they think we're awful, and vice versa. And I will agree with this. Try to avoid the sugar alcohols. They will make you gassy or worse. I've learned that one myself. I will say my favorite so far is made by Bear Bells. Their cookies and cream is amazing. It's 20 grams of protein for 210 calories. That's not bad. A little tiny bit of sugar, but overall, it's a delicious bar. Oh, someone's beaming in. You want to try them? I'll put a link down below. Morton Robinson said, I have no clue which version of Access this is, but both your form view and design view looks nothing like mine, so I can't follow along here. Now, Morton is talking about my Yes No Fields video, which was released about 3 years ago. So that would put it in about 2022. Let me see here. Yep, 2022 January. So I was probably using Access that was roughly equivalent to 2021 because I've had the Microsoft 365 subscription since they first started adding that or offering that. So there's a couple things. Either A, you've got a really old version, like before 2007. That's when they made the major redesign, they added the ribbon and all that. Or my forms and stuff might look different to you because I'm using overlapping windows, not the default full page stuff that Access normally uses by default. In fact, I got a whole video on that because people are often confused by it. I prefer overlapping windows like these. These are small forms inside of Access. Your main menu's over here, your customer forms here, your order forms here. The default is this tabbed interface where every form fills the full screen inside of Access. I don't like that at all. I like classic old style Windows. Right? So go watch this video. I'll put a link to it down below, and that'll teach you how to set your system to overlapping windows, which is the correct way to use Access. If it's what I want, it's the correct way. There's my way and the wrong way, right? No, no, I'm just kidding. But yeah, that's probably why you're confused with the interface difference. And while I'm on that video, I noticed another comment from about a year ago. It doesn't quite cross over into retro territory, but sometimes I'll answer a question that I see someone post on an older video, and then I realize that there's a comment on there that I didn't answer a year ago. Sorry, I don't always have time to get to all of them. But TMD63 says, how do you use yes, no, not used fields? Well, that would involve using what's called a triple state checkbox. And that's this guy, right? There's yes, no, and I don't know. Okay? And in order to do this, you have to set your checkbox in design mode to triple states is equal to yes, and you can't use a yes, no field, because yes, no fields literally can only store yes or no. So you have to use a different field, like a number value. This video explains it. Go check it out. I'll put a link down below. And sorry for taking a year to answer you. My bad. Renee B says, great start to the series, Richard. Just talking about my fitness database series again. The only hiccup was using MS Copilot to do the AI queries. So I showed people how to get like some data, some sample data, and get it from ChatGPT, and then copy and paste that into your Access database. It produced what appeared to be the same data as you with GPT, but on copying the data into Access, it dumped the complete line into one field instead of separate fields. I will work on that to see if I can get it to do it right. This is something that you can practice yourself. You could just use Notepad in Access. Here, let me show you. All right, so here's my TechHelp free template. Let's go into the customer table here. All right, I got first name, last name, and email. Let's say I got a list of first names, last names, and emails, and I want to get them into my database here, okay? Now I'm going to open up Notepad. All right, let's say I've got Joe, and then I like to put tabs between them, all right? When I ask for data from ChatGPT or whatever, I ask for it to be tab separated. Joe Smith, and then, 123 at amacron.com, all right? Sue, tab, Jones, tab, 456 at amacron.com. And we'll do another one. Jim Wills at 567 at amacron.com. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is just select these guys, copy. Now, if you come right over here and just paste into a field, it's going to put all that data in that one field, right? And if I Shift F2, zoom in, you'll see it's all in there. That's not what we want to do. So hit Escape. What you want to do is you want to see how this box is selected like that. It's got that little pink border around it. All right, well, we don't want this row because this row's already got stuff in it. So we want to make sure you're on a blank new row, okay? So with that border, select how many fields you're pasting. All right, we got 3 fields, first name, last name, email. Doesn't matter how many records. Now hit paste. There you go. That's how you bring your data in. So whenever you're in, using Copilot or ChatGPT, tell them to give you a tab separated list. All right, so here I asked ChatGPT, I said, give me a tab separated list in plain text with some sample data. I need first name, last name, and email address. Give me 5 records, no header information. It gave me that, but this might not be something that when you copy and paste it, it might see it as a space. So I said, are those tab separated? And it's like, yep, they're tab separated. All right, put them in a code box. I always ask for data like that to be in a code box. All right, when it's giving you source code like VB code or JavaScript or whatever. So this looks like it's properly tab separated. All right, so now you should be able to copy this data, come back up here, do the same trick. Select 3 fields and paste, and there you go. That's how you bring it over. Okay? And there's other ways you could do it too. Another way, if you get comma separated, the easiest way to break them up, honestly, is just drop them into Excel and then do a text to columns. I got a whole separate video on text to columns. Right? You could take data that's comma separated, and then it'll throw it into columns, and you can transpose it if you want, do all kinds of stuff to it. All right? That's just easier sometimes to get it into Access is to massage it in Excel, depending on how much data you're talking about. If you're talking about, thousands of rows of data, no, then you're going to want to use a proper query. But if you got a handful of records and you want to just, quickly massage them, just do it in Excel. Next up, this user says, I have installed French and German language packs in Windows and set my current system locale to use Unicode for worldwide support. I also have set VB under VB Tools Options Editor format to accept normal text, set the font. Despite that, Access still doesn't accept French and German symbols. And this is in response to my multi-language video. Now, in my video, I teach you how you can set up a table where you can have your labels and other things inside your database have different languages in them. I do not have any experience whatsoever with setting up the actual multilingual versions of Windows or Office or Access or any of that stuff. I speak only English, and I've got no experience with that. So I'm including this here in this video. Hopefully someone else who's watching might be able to offer you some help, because this is outside my area of expertise. You might also want to contact the guys over at Access Forever. I know they have a lot of experience with multi-user stuff. They've got members in Germany and Austria and all kinds of other European countries and stuff, so maybe they would be able to help you. I know Carl's a great guy. So, yeah, give them a shot maybe. Next up, this is a good question from Uriel Ramirez. He says, loves the series. It's great if it can be perfect if you just work out the name of your functions so they can be implemented without changing your code. For example, if msaccess has a William T. Riker function and you create a Thomas Riker function, you have to go in and replace all your William T. Riker functions with Thomas Riker in your code. But also, name your function William T. Riker. Your functions will execute first. No replacing, no two functions, no hassle. Okay, so I think what I'm trying to gather from this is you're saying that I should make all of my function names different from what you've got in your database. In fact, one of my moderators, Sammy, just came up with this idea for me with my new calendar database that I'm releasing. I've got some functions that if you dropped my stuff into your database, some of the function names might be duplicated. And that's a problem with Access. Let me show you two things that that might help you out here. All right, first of all, let's say in here, I've got a function or a subroutine called status. All right, and all status does is when you click a button here, it'll status whatever you have in there into this box here. Okay, and that's all that is just status hello world. Now, let's say you are introducing some new code and you want to use status, but it's named something else in your database. Well, all you have to do is make yourself a little helper function, right? Just call it new status or whatever, public sub new status, S as a string. And then you just in here say status S. And your new status function will then just call the old status function. Okay? But more important than that, let's say you have code that you imported from somewhere else that also has a status function. Okay, so let's say let's create another module. Create module. All right, let's make a public sub status in here as well, S as a string. And I'll say all this guy does is message box S instead of putting it in the status box. Save this. We'll save this as new mod. Whoops, I didn't hit yes. Save, yes, new mod. Okay. So now we have global mod and we have new mod, and they both have a status function in them. Well, you could probably guess right now if I go to debug compile, right, ambiguous name detected status, because it doesn't know which status I'm talking about. So what you can do is if you want to reference a specific status function, is just call it by its function's name or its module's name. So this one is the old one. You'd call it global mod dot status. See, there's a bunch of functions that are in that one. And if you want to call the other one, you just say new mod dot status. This is the new mod. We'll put this one first because it's a message box. All right. So now you can use both status functions. You just have to refer to which one you want. Okay. Save it. Now it should debug compile. And then when I click the button, they'll both run. First is that one, right? And then the second one runs. So if you import someone else's code into your database and you're getting ambiguous names detected, you're just going to have to go through and find out which ones are duplicated. Now, either rename it, which if that's not too intense, you can do that. Or if you want to keep the code the same, just go through your code and replace the name by itself with whatever mod it's in, and that will fix that problem. And it might involve a little work, but you only have to do it once. So, but yeah, could I name my stuff differently? I could, but so could you, and that's easier for me if you do. But I hope that answers your question. I'm not exactly sure what you meant, but I appreciate the Riker reference. But I think I answered your question. Maybe if not, let me know. But don't post it as a reply to this one. Post a new one because I don't sometimes see replies. Okay. Next up is a question from John. Why don't you use time get time, which is accurate to the millisecond? He's referring to my timer function video. And in this video, the point of teaching you about the timer function is that it will allow you to get fractions of a second accuracy when trying to determine what stuff in your database is running slowly. And by fractions of a database, it's like 1/13 of a second. So it's not quite milliseconds, but it's close. It's good enough and it's easy enough for the purposes of this video and for what I think 99.9% of people would ever use Access for as far as tracking accuracy. Now, there is a function called time get time. It is part of the Windows winmm.dll library, so you have to make an API call to it. Here's some sample code I had ChatGPT throw together for me. I have not tested this, but I have used time get time in the past. If you do need actual millisecond accuracy, this will work. This will return the elapsed milliseconds since Windows started. So it is actually millisecond level ready. It doesn't depend on system time changes, and it's ideally better for tracking, real-time tasks. But, it's not that much better than the built-in timer in Access. So unless you're like benchmarking something that's 10 milliseconds, you really don't need it. Whereas timer, it's built in, it's simple, no declarations are needed. It's good enough for most forms of timing logic. And of course, you got to worry about bitness too. This is a 64-bit declaration. If you got any 32-bit users, then you can't use that. You have to declare it differently. So great question, and I hope that answers it. All right, folks, that's going to do for today. Don't forget to check out my captain's log if you want to read my daily rants about random topics, some of which include IT database stuff, sometimes Star Trek, sometimes life in general. So check it out. And don't forget to check out the merch store. We got hats, we got sweaters, we got hoodies, we got bears, we got mouse pads. I got all kinds of stuff with my logo on it. So you'll want some. Check it out. There's a link. But that's going to do it, folks. That's your quick queries for today. What is today? Friday, the 11th of July, 2025. Have a good weekend and be safe and don't blow your fingers off with any leftover fireworks. And that's it. I hope you learned something. Live long and prosper, my friends. I will see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button right now and give me a like. Also, be sure to subscribe to my channel, which is completely free. And make sure you click that bell icon and select all to receive notifications whenever I post a new video. Do you need help with your Microsoft Access project? Whether you need a tutor, a consultant, or a developer to build something for you, check out my Access Developer Network. It's a directory I put together personally of Access experts who can help with your project. Visit my website to learn more. Any links or other resources that I mentioned in the video can be found in the description text below the video. Just click on that show more link right there. YouTube's pretty good about hiding that, but it's there. Just look for it. Now, if you have not yet tried my free Access Level 1 course, check it out now. It covers all the basics of Microsoft Access, including building forms, queries, reports, tables, all that stuff. It's over 4 hours long. You can find it on my website or my YouTube channel. I'll include a link below you can click on. And did I mention it's completely free? And if you like level 1, level 2 is just $1. That's it. And it's free for members of my YouTube channel at any level. Speaking of memberships, if you're interested in joining my channel, you get all kinds of awesome perks. Silver members get access to all of my extended cut tech help videos, and there's hundreds of them by now. They also get one free beginner class each month, and yes, those are from my full courses. Gold members get the previous perks plus access to download all of the sample databases that I build in my Tech Help videos. Plus, you get access to my code vault where I keep tons of different functions and all kinds of source code that I use. And Gold members get one free expert class every month after completing the beginner series. Platinum members get all of the previous perks, plus they get all of my beginner courses, all of them from every subject. And you get one free advanced or developer class every month after finishing the expert series. And you can become a diamond sponsor and have your name listed on the sponsor page on my website. So that's it. Once again, my name is Richard Rost. Thank you for watching this video brought to you by accesslearningzone.com. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something today. Live long and prosper, my friends. I'll see you next time.